Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Well, what do we have here? A federal judge just put an end to Donald Trump, your president, victory lap regarding his tax return settlement. I ain't got no problem with that. Let's get into this article, fam. Trump is having a really bad day. Look at his face. Let's get into this article in The Guardian. U.S. judge nullifies Trump deal to resolve IRS lawsuit in scathing ruling. A federal judge on Monday nullified an agreement the government reached with Donald Trump and his sons over the leak of his tax returns. The judge lambasted the government and president's lawyers for using the judicial process to try to concoct a beneficial agreement for the president. The ruling from U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams in the Southern District of Florida blocks a widely criticized arrangement the government and the president's attorneys reached earlier this year to resolve a $10 billion lawsuit by Trump and his sons over the leak of the president's tax returns. The government never responded to the lawsuit and then announced it was settling the suit by creating a $1.8 billion slush fund to compensate victims of government weaponization and giving the president, his family, and related entities immunity from tax audits. Amid bipartisan backlash, the acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the Justice Department was scrapping the fund, but the tax immunity provisions remained in place. In her ruling on Monday, Williams, who was nominated to the bench by Barack Obama, said there had never been a genuine controversy in the case, a requirement for any lawsuit, since Trump controlled the Treasury Department. She also sanctioned Trump's lawyers for their conduct before the court. The nature of the suit itself and the conduct of the parties and counsel from its filings make plain that this was an attempt to use the court to provide some legitimacy to an agreement to confer immunity to people and entities affiliated with the president and to earmark billions of dollars from American taxpayers to redress grievances not defined in the law, she wrote. The court finds that this matter was brought for an improper purpose to gain the imprimatur of judicial legitimacy for a settlement that had no viable basis in law or fact, she added. Her ruling blocks both Trump, his sons, and business and the government from using, offering, admitting, or citing anything from the so-called settlement agreement in any kind of proceeding. The ruling on Monday comes after Williams took the extraordinary step of reopening the case at the urging of a group of retired federal judges. She previously closed the case after Trump withdrew his claim after an agreement was reached. Boy, I wish I could see Trump's face right now. I know he is hot. Let me tell you something, family. The more lawyers who are disbarred because of corruption, especially related to this administration, the better off this country is going to be. I want my country back. I don't know about y'all, family. I want my country back. I want my country back, man. I want my country back. I need to get back to when people were actually arrested for being corrupt. I mean, I'm talking about when it was known that they were corrupt. Like once it's public, like a lot of the corruption, we already know corruption is corruption, right? Corruption gonna happen no matter what. Corruption always happens. Corruption is corruption. Corruption gonna happen, right? And the nation gonna always be corrupt, right? We know that. But the blatant corruption is what I'm talking. It's just so blatant, fam. How can you say on one hand that we are a nation of laws, and then on the other hand, just blatantly have just total disregard for the law? And then gaslight the public when you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar. How you gonna do that? You can't have it both ways, man. You gotta pick a side. And it's like Trump has been able to blatantly be corrupt, him and all of his people. They've been blatant with it. They're not even trying to be sneaky and high. I'm going to tell you when it started, fam. This goes actually back further than Trump, but Trump is the first one to really just be bold and just blatant with it. Like, I don't give a damn. I'm going to do what I want to do. Stop me. Trump got this thing where he asks for forgiveness rather than permission. And he really don't ask for forgiveness. He get caught and he just be like, all right, what else we got? He just go right to something else. He really don't care about how it go down. He just go from one thing to the next. Soon as y'all stop this, okay, watch this. You're putting out so many fires dealing with him. You're constantly trying to put out fires when you're dealing with Donald Trump, because this dude just has no respect for the law. He don't really have respect for the American people. That's why he tried to beat us out of $1.8 billion in tax money, right? He really just don't care, but he does one thing and he says something else. But then, when I say he says something else, I mean he says something like how he cares about the American. He always talk about, and God bless America, and the American people this and the American people that. But then he'll say something like, he'll say something condescending like, well, people need to just work harder. I'm really not concerned about the price of gas. I'm really not concerned about the cost of living. Like I've never heard a president say openly that they don't give a damn about the cost of living when we're having a financial crisis. We're in the middle of an economic crisis. And he's like, man, I really don't care about the cost of living. So we know they don't care, but to blatantly just say that, to make that type of admission, that just goes to show you how cocky he is, how arrogant he is. And he can be that way when he have followers who don't hold him accountable. When he have people who just makes excuses for him at every turn. Like, there are people who support Donald Trump. They see what's going on. They know what's going on, but they don't care. That underscores how wicked they are. And it also underscores how many wicked people are in this country. We are living amongst the uncivilized. This is why we have so much crime. This is why there's so much corruption, abuse. There is so much evil and hatred in this country. A lot of people are just like that. Americans, it should be mandated that Americans have a psychological evaluation at least once a year. At least from the time that they are, let's say, I don't know, maybe 5. A psychological evaluation. And the ones who don't pass, they go over here. Everybody else go over here, put them all over here. And should we put them in a cage? I don't know. Y'all figure that. We can figure that out later. But first of all, we got to separate. We got to get them away from us. We got to get the uncivilized away from the civilized so that the civilized can actually get back to a healthy form of life. Man, it's bad out here in these American streets. It's bad out here, man. Everybody on kill mode. Everybody mad. It drains your energy. Man, you jump on the internet especially, man, it drains the hell out of your energy. Trump is starting to get the message that he is not above the law. These federal judges are starting to speak out. They're starting to actually act. They're starting to actually use their power. And I know Trump mad at Kathleen Williams because she's a Barack Obama appointee. And, he can't stand nothing about Barack Obama. So he's going to go on a warpath against her. She got to watch her back because he's coming for her. He's absolutely coming for her. He's already trying to figure out how could he get her out of there. So Trump don't play by the rules. And so anything that he can do to circumvent the rules, anything he can do to circumvent justice, thy will be done. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.